This ad is brought to you by GSK. Have you considered starting Ojjaara momelotinib for your appropriate patients? Review the efficacy of Ojjaara, including data from our head-to-head trials, Simplify-1 and Momentum, at startojjaara.com. That's startojjaara.com.
Chris Plant here. Tired of dating online and want to meet real people face to face? Let the professional matchmakers at It's Just Lunch help. After a confidential interview, your personal matchmaker hand selects quality matches for you. They pre-screen every date, and they'll book your reservations at the best spots in town. All you have to do is show up and be yourself. Let It's Just Lunch help you turn new beginnings into lasting connections. Call 202-466-4333 or visit itsjustlunchdc.com.
You know what they say. Early bird gets the ultimate vacation home. Book early and save over $530 on a week-long stay with Verbo. Because early gets you closer to the action, whether it's waves lapping at the shore or snoozing in a hammock that overlooks, well, whatever you want it to. So you can all enjoy the payoff come summer with Verbo's early booking deals. Rise and shine. Average savings $550. Only minimum 7-day stay required.
Not planning today can cost you tomorrow. Stop worrying and start planning with Trajan Wealth. Contact Trajan today at 202-750-3300 or go to TrajanWealth.com. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement.
Making sense of your world.
I don't know where to begin.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Thanks for taking my call.
Making sense of the news. WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 6. I'm Heather Curtis. We've learned the identity of a Stonebridge High School student killed after being hit by a car about half a block from the school this morning. The Loudoun County Sheriff's Office says 20-year-old Kalina Yu was hit by a school employee driving an LCPS maintenance vehicle around 9:13. The school's principal, Timothy Flynn, sharing the heartbreaking news in a note to parents. He says counselors will be at the school to help students and staff cope with the tragedy. The Sheriff's Office says it's interviewed the driver as it works to determine whether charges should be filed. An update in a story we brought you yesterday about a man who allegedly tried to lure 3 Anne Arundel County middle schoolers into his vehicle while they were waiting for the bus. Police tracked the man down. He said that he told the kids to get in his vehicle because he was their ride to school. Police learned what sounded like an attempted kidnapping was a misunderstanding. The man told police he went to Crofton Elementary School looking for his grandchild. Police say there was no threat to the children at the bus stop and no charges will be filed. The star witness in the double murder trial of Brendan Banfield takes the stand. Juliana Margulies testified against her former lover as part of a plea deal that will set her free in exchange for testimony about her participation in a plot to kill Banfield's wife and another man so they can run away together. Prosecutors say in 2023, the two allegedly set up a profile in a fetish sex site posing as Christine to lure a stranger, Joseph Ryan, to the house under the guise of a sexual encounter.
The person would be invited to come to the house, and he needed to know that the person it was willing or was going to do.
If that were the case, that would have showed up when
Banfield claimed Ryan was stabbing his wife Christine, so he shot him. Banfield's attorneys say not to believe Margulies, as prosecutors coerced her to testify in exchange for her freedom. He's pleaded not guilty. Also, we heard from other people testifying today.
Prosecutors questioning one of the responding officers who arrived at the Banfield home in February of 2023.
I got a blowout kit if you need it.
That's a trauma kit carried by officers. Police then head upstairs.
We got one guy up here, gunshot wound, one female smoked the
Christine Banfield stabbed to death. Barbara Britt, WMAL and WMAL.com.
President Trump addressing the economy after touring a Michigan factory today, a Ford factory, to promote boosting U.S. manufacturing. He was asked about renegotiating the U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade pact, which is up for review this year.
I don't even think about USMCA. I mean, I want to see Canada and Mexico do well, but the problem is we don't need their product. We don't need cars made in Canada. We don't need cars made in Mexico. We want to make them here. And that's what's happening. Everybody's moving here.
Checking your money, the Dow closed down 398 points, the NASDAQ off 24. Traffic and weather now.
You know the rush when you reach that goal, when something you've worked for pays off. That's success. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we believe you should never stop chasing it. That's why we offer a skills-based education that helps move your career forward. Learn how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science. Build your leadership and critical thinking skills. Apply by February 11th and save with no application fee. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Okay, all signed up. Easy. Now let's run payroll. What the?
Hey girl, I'm you with more gusto.
Nice. Who's that? New social media manager, hired and onboarded with gusto. And spoiler, we're kind of famous now. Wait, we're famous? Oh, well, I'm famous. Payroll, benefits, and HR. Designed and built for small businesses. Choose a future with gusto.
If your patio, sidewalk, or driveway is cracked or uneven, if you've tripped or fallen as a result, or if you're worried about the liability of an uneven surface on your property, American Concrete Services can quickly help. Don't pay the high cost to tear out and replace your sidewalk, patio, driveway, or pool deck. American Concrete Services has an economical solution which can raise and stabilize your existing concrete at a fraction of the cost of full replacement. They're environmentally friendly structural foam. With structural foam lifting, there's no heavy equipment to cause damage to your property and no loud noises from jackhammering. Best of all, most repairs can be completed in just one day. Have your entire patio, sidewalk, or driveway safe and level again. No job is too big or small. Call American Concrete Services now for your free estimate at 240-665-5665. That's 240-665-5665. Again, 240-665-5665. Licensed in D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. MHIC 140530.
First,
Here's Michelle Murray in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
On the local lanes of the Beltway Inner Loop at Telegraph Road, that police activity finally cleared, but traffic is still jammed from 210, and this is also causing delays to the main lanes on the Inner Loop, which is still very heavy from Branch Avenue to Telegraph Road. Now, there is an accident on 270 northbound before Middlebrook Road that blocks the left lane, and traffic is extremely slow from Shady Grove Road, and then delays on and off beyond that from 109 towards Route 80. Very slow traffic on 295 southbound between the 11th Street Bridge and the Beltway, and DC 295 still heavy northbound between the 11th Street Bridge and Eastern Avenue. In Northwest, you may find some street closures on 14th Street between Constitution Avenue and Pennsylvania Avenue. Police activity there to watch out for. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Tonight, cloudy with a passing shower possible, lows around 43. Tomorrow, overcast and highs around 53. Right now, 49 degrees in Washington. I'm Heather Curtis, Sun News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
He's here. Now, broadcasting from the underground command post, deep in the bowels of a hidden bunker, somewhere under the brick and steel of a nondescript building, we've once again made contact with our leader, Mark Levin.
Hello, America. Mark Levin here. Our number, 877-381-3811, 877-381-3811. This is Radio Free America. It always has been. We've been talking about what's going on in Iran. We've been urging military action of some kind. I don't know. Special forces may be hitting certain units where we know they have troops located, basically Gestapo, who go in and murder citizens. They're now hanging people. These are young people. There are videos and photos, and I have posted some on my various social sites, where you can see how horrendous this is. They're just being shot in the streets, back of the head, front of the face, in the chest. And it's horrendous. And CBS is reporting anywhere from 12 to 20,000 have been murdered. We'll get into all this. The President of the United States, his most recent comment, as he was getting on Air Force One, heading back to the White House, convening a meeting to further determine what action to take. And I think he's ready to roll. It's just a matter of what exactly they do. Said the following, cut 26, go.
And I'm going back to the White House now. We're going to look at the whole situation that's going on in Iran. It's really bad stuff. And Minnesota is going to have to take care of itself for a little while. We have tremendous theft and fraud going on in that state because you have an incompetent governor, grossly incompetent governor, and a corrupt governor. But we'll straighten that out. But Iran is on my mind when I see the kind of death that is happening over there, we think. So we're going to get some accurate numbers. I'll have it in about 20 minutes. We'll get some accurate numbers as to what's happening with regard to the killing. The killing looks like it's significant, but we don't know yet for certain. I'll know within 20 minutes. So, and we'll act accordingly.
The killing is just horrendous. The Europeans have spoken out, said they oppose what's taking place, and they've called the envoys in for a meeting. That's about as good as they're going to get. That's about as good as they're going to get. Then there's phony press that the Israelis really don't want this regime addressed because it could be a worse regime could come in. Of course, that's phony too. The World War III guys, every time we do anything, they accuse us of wanting to start World War III. They're in high dudgeon as always, shrieking about World War III beginning. These young people are freedom fighters. And when we turn our backs on them, we get communist China. We get Cuba. In other words, it gets worse. It doesn't get better. For us, the United States of America, it gets worse. I don't know how you can love this country, be compassionate and humane, and be a Democrat anymore. I just don't. Virtually every single one of them, with few exceptions, very few, has denounced what that regime is doing and then said we shouldn't do anything about it. Has denounced what that regime is doing, said we shouldn't do anything about it. I take note, and I think many of you will as well, of the lack of demonstrations in our country by the Marxist Islamists in support of and in defense of the people being slaughtered in Iran. I mean, it's thousands and thousands by this regime. Now, they claim to care about the rights of people, the right to vote. There's genocide taking place in Iran, real genocide. And they say nothing. Zero. I notice the woke right neo-fascists say nothing. Zero. And you should keep this in mind because it tells you what they really believe in their heart and soul and in their walnut-sized brains. They favor these kinds of barbaric, Islamist, Marxist, police state, or fascist regimes. They keep attacking capitalism. Socialism, let's be honest, socialism is a myth, okay? The theory of socialism is a myth. It's an utter and complete myth. What they want is feudalism. And they want feudalism, which means that a relative handful of people control everything. That's what they are. That's what you have in all these regimes. That's what you have in communist China at the top. That's what you have in Cuba. That's what you have in North Korea. That's what you have in Iran and so forth. These are fascistic feudal societies dressed up as people revolutions. Marxism, that is communism, call it what you wish. Marxism is the real name, but that's okay. Marxism is as phony as a $3 bill. Marxism is a theory that's impossible. Even if it were beneficial, and of course it's not, it's an impossible theory. Human beings are motivated for a billion different reasons. So this collective, and we're all going to share the same thing, and we're all going to be happy working for the state, is preposterous. That's not how humanity works. That's not how government works. And so people have died. 100 million people have died for a defective, phony ideology. Socialism is a fraud. Communism is a fraud. Islamism is barbaric and primitive back to the 7th century. They seek to conquer and control. They reject the Enlightenment. They reject constitutionalism, democracy. Where are these people in the street? This should demonstrate to anybody who's had questions about it once and for all that these people are dyed-in-the-wool fascists, communists, Islamists. Take your pick. All fused together to overthrow our country in the West. Not for the good of the people, for their own grift, for their own power, to advance their own cause. What you see going on in Iran is a fundamentalist Islamist government that is also corrupt mobster government, where the imams become incredibly wealthy, where generals become incredibly wealthy, all in the name of faith, of course. All in the name of faith. Now, there's a lot to unravel here, and I'm going to, but I want to raise another point. The Democrats, and I've talked about this and I've written about it many, many times, but I want to bring it up again. Look in our streets. Look in Minneapolis. Look in New York. Look in LA. Look in every major city in America. And not just our cities. Look at Plano, Texas. Look outside of Houston. Look outside of Tampa. Look at Patterson, New Jersey. Look at Dearborn, Michigan. Look. The Democrats have militarized their various constituent groups again in support of the illegal alien stampede they created under the Biden regime, because they know that to break the immigration enforcement system is to change the country forever and to establish one party, Democrat Party, control over our country as far as the eye can see. They did it in California, a conservative Republican state that not only gave us Ronald Reagan, but successive conservative Republican governors, scores of Republicans in Congress, and an electoral college map that was unbeatable for some time. Now, it's as close to a permanent Democrat-controlled state as one can imagine, and they pulled it off in less than 10 years' time. It's illegal immigration and the importation of millions of people from all parts of the world who have no intention of assimilating into our country and who seek to impose their own cultures on the citizenry is already causing enormous havoc and societal unrest here. The Democrat Party is all in. It is the most unconscionable assault on our nation since the Confederate Democrats dragged our country into a civil war. Revolution by immigration, I've mentioned this to you over and over again, is what the Islamists have been preaching for decades. They seek to conquer the West and especially our country, as do the Marxist revolutionaries who came to our country from Europe starting in the late 1800s as progressives, the 1960s as the New Left, and now simply as straight-up communists. The Democrat Party is all in again. For the Democrat Party, party comes before country, which is how communist regimes work. Fidelity and allegiance to the party is everything. And if that means changing the citizenry to achieve its ends, then so be it. The battles in our streets between ICE and the mobs are battles for the survival of this republic. The mobs are funded by power-hungry, evil billionaires, foreign governments, and their front groups, and of course, domestic radicals born from academia. And they're using every propaganda and agitprop tactic honed and exercised by such movements in the past. Our very existence is at stake. The most magnificent, wonderful republic humankind has ever established is under attack from within like a cancer. It's metastasizing. It's gobbling up our institutions. We're using what we have to fight it. Donald Trump. Will it be enough? Will it be enough? The woke right neo-fascists are giving aid and comfort to these movements. They're weakening our ability to fight them. They're undermining us. They're trying to destroy the conservative movement, which they now mock. They're trying to destroy the Republican Party. They're trying to destroy the Republic because they have their own schemes in mind, their own ideas in mind. None of this is new. 1930s, the battle between the fascists and the communists in Germany. Well, the fascists won. The Soviet Union, communist. They won. People butchered, murdered, slaughtered. You're looking at it in Iran right now. An Islamist, fundamentalist, mobster regime slaughtering young people like they give a damn. And there's only one man that's going to be able to help these people achieve their counter-revolution.
Yeah, well, you're here, so there you go.
Fundamentalist Islamist revolution. And that's President Trump. And let's hope it's sooner than later. And if we are going to duck and bend and fear every regime, every evil genocidal regime, because we're afraid it'll start World War III, then we will have a World War III. Weakness begets bullies. That's what happens. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
If your credit card balance is freaking you out after all the holiday spending, I have something that can save you money right now. Cut your cell phone bill in half by switching to Pure Talk Saver Plan. Just $20 a month for unlimited talk, text, and 3 gigs of high-speed data on Pure Talk's super-fast nationwide 5G network. As a veteran-led company that cares about giving back to those who serve, if you're active or former military or a first responder, you'll save an additional 20% every single month. The easiest way to free up cash flow is to reduce your monthly recurring bills. Start with cutting overpriced wireless and switching to my wireless company. Just dial pound 250 and say Mark Levin, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team will help you switch in just minutes. Again, talk, text, and data just $20 a month. Dial pound 250, say Mark Levin, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Dial pound 250, say Mark Levin. Pure Talk is America's wireless company.
Police activity on the Beltway Inner Loop at Telegraph Road and the local lanes finally cleared, but traffic still jams up from 210. And also delays in the main lanes on the Inner Loop. That is still very heavy from Branch Avenue to Telegraph Road. Also delays on the Inner Loop headed from the toll road to the Sprint, from Old Georgetown Road to New Hampshire Avenue, and from 95 towards Kenilworth Avenue. Earlier accident on 270 northbound before Middlebrook Road, now clear, but traffic still jams up from 28. And also you will find an accident now in Alexandria that has Etzel Road closed in both directions between 395 and Bryn Mawr Drive. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Storm Watch 7 forecast.
Tonight, cloudy with a passing shower possible, lows around 43. Tomorrow, overcast and highs around 53.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. True Vitality Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
True Vitality Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Regardless of age or medical history, 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at True Vitality Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 703-637-1222. 703-637-1222. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 703-637-1222.
Hi, I'm Rich Robertson with a CES IT Service Tech Tip. Have you ever wondered why your office phones fade in and out or drop off to silence? Does the other person keep asking you to repeat yourself, or the voice become choppy? It could be your internet service is too slow, but most likely it's your company network. Is your phone plugged directly into your computer? Your IT guy should have warned you about that. Is your phone traffic sharing the same network as your data traffic? Your phone guy is going to tell you not to do that. He's making a sale. There are many other reasons why you could experience poor phone call quality. Either way, CES IT Service can resolve your voice over IP issues.
Don't let VoIP issues tarnish your image. Contact Rich today at 301-620-1580 or visit cesitservice.com to schedule a quick meeting. Call 301-620-1580 or visit cesitservice.com.
Has been terrific.
President Trump is right. Millions like you are tuning into Newsmax. You're watching Newsmax on cable. You're going to our streaming channel, Newsmax 2. And you're downloading our free Newsmax app on your smartphones and TVs. Reuters Institute says we're now one of the top news brands in the nation. Every night, watch great shows with Rob Schmidt, Carl Higbie, Rob Finnerty, and more as they expose the big media lies, the Washington swamp, and they're never afraid to talk about faith, freedom, and the values that made us great. Find out why Newsmax is the fastest growing news channel in America. Make the switch today and join our news revolution. Get Newsmax on cable, on streaming, and download the free app today. It takes just seconds to start. Let President Trump know you stand with Newsmax. It's for real news, for real people. Make the switch today.
WMAL, making sense of the headlines, because common sense isn't so common. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
Who's running CBS, and David Ellison, for hiring her. If she were a radical left-wing kook, they'd be celebrating the fact that a woman is running a network. They'd be telling us about firsts and all the rest of it. But we know how the left operates. And I deigned to watch some CBS over the weekend. It was excellent. Doesn't mean I agree with everything that the reporters say or how they approach it, but you can see it is much more of a journalism-centric enterprise than an ideological one. And hence she comes under attack, vicious attack, by miscreants and malcontents who can't hold a candle to her. She's a young lady, and she's doing a hell of a job in a very difficult situation and environment where you're not even allowed to move these entities center because the hard left has controlled them for so long. But she's doing the right thing. She's doing the right thing. I don't know her. I don't believe I've ever talked to her. We don't hang out in the same circles, apparently. But that's the way it is. Information trickling out, CBS reports, out of Iran suggests that a crackdown by authorities to end more than 2 weeks of widespread anti-government protest has likely been far more deadly than activists outside the country have reported, with phone lines opening back up for calls from inside the Islamic Republic. Two sources, including one inside Iran, told CBS News that at least 12,000 and possibly as many 20,000 people have been killed. Now, I want to pursue this. This is a very, very horrific thing that's taking place. People being shot innocently. They don't have weapons. You can't overthrow a government without weapons. But I've got more to say. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/Mike.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 6:30. I'm Heather Curtis. Stonebridge High School is mourning the loss of a 20-year-old student who died after being hit by a car half a block from the school this morning. The Loudoun County Sheriff's Office says a school employee driving an LCPS maintenance vehicle hit Kalina Yu around 9:13. Deputies interviewed the driver as they worked to determine whether to file any charges. The school's principal, Timothy Flynn, said in a message to parents, "It's with deep sadness that they share the news," adding counselors are available for students. A Howard County police officer who fatally shot a man who charged at him with a spear last June will not face criminal charges. The officer responded after Micah Booker called 911 to report stabbing his brother. Booker had the spear when Officer Michael McKee arrived and refused commands to drop it and then charged at McKee. Maryland's Attorney General says his investigation found McKee was justified in using deadly force because he feared for his life. Traffic and weather next.
This report is sponsored by GAC Services, proudly serving Maryland homes.
This isn't the old GAC. It's a new promise. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical, even generators, all with respect, care, and pride. GACservices.com. Proudly serving heroes, proudly serving homes.
Here's Michelle Murray in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
In Fairfax, watch out for accident activity on westbound Braddock Road at Burke Station Road. And in Alexandria, Etzel Road is closed in both directions between Bryn Drive and 395 due to an accident. And we're getting word that on the inner loop at Telegraph Road in the local lanes, there is still police activity in the left lane, and traffic is jammed from Indian Head Highway. Also, you will find very slow traffic on 270 from Falls Road to Middlebrook Road, where an accident has now been cleared. And also look out for slow going traffic right now on the outer loop at Georgia Avenue, where an accident is now blocking the right lane. Delays begin at New Hampshire Avenue. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Storm Watch 7 forecast.
Tonight, cloudy with a passing shower possible. Lows around 43. Right now in Washington, 49 degrees. I'm Heather Curtis on WMAL.
Why do you go to Princeton Longevity Center?
We go to Princeton Longevity Center because my husband's cardiologist told him having this exam saved his life.
Because somehow 20 turned into 40, and now I need to take my health more seriously. The Princeton Longevity Center designed a program to keep me healthy and active, so 50 and 60 will be no sweat.
Because even though my cholesterol is high, it turned out my arteries are clear. That's a big relief.
Whether you want to make the most of your future years or just want peace of mind, you need the Princeton Longevity Center. Their comprehensive preventive exam combines the latest technology with caring experts to create your personal plan for staying well.
Because I shouldn't have to wait an hour for a 10-minute physical. I go to Princeton Longevity Center because I get everything done in one day and take my results home with me.
Find out why you need Princeton Longevity. Call 888-8000-PLC or go to PrincetonLongevityCenter.com. Call 888-8000-PLC. That's 888-8000-PLC.
Early birds always rise to the occasion for summer vacation planning because early gets you closer to the action. So don't be late. Book your next vacation early on Vrbo and save over $530 on week-long stays. Average savings $550. Select homes only. Minimum 7-day stay required.
Do you know what employees say is their number one perk at work? Extra PTO? Nope. Gym memberships? Guess again. It's free lunch. And what's the best way to order food for work? Easy Cater, a food tool built for the modern workplace. With online ordering from a huge variety of restaurants for any group size, tools to meet dietary needs and stay on budget, employee meal programs, and more. All on one platform. So perk up your workplace with Easy Cater. Order now at easycater.com.
Making sense of your world.
Thanks for taking my call.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Greatly appreciated.
Making sense of the news. WMAL. Making sense of world events. Because those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
Mark Levin. Making conservatism great again. Dial in now. 877-381-3811.
I need to just take a moment of personal privilege with you folks to tell you something. I am so honored and blessed to have you. We got our ratings from Fox over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and despite what some of these buffoonish, vulgar individuals say on podcasts, we won the night on Saturday. We almost won the night on Sunday. And on Sunday, Mr. Producer, we were up against an 8 o'clock a football game that ended at 8 with the Eagles It had 29 million viewers. And then at 8:15 or 18:20, NBC picked up with the next game. This is all right in the middle of my show on Sunday. And we still had substantial viewership. On Saturday, we're up against professional football in the playoffs, and we won the night. And by the way, all the shows are great Saturday and Sunday. That's not my point. My point is you show up or you set your DVRs to hell or high water. And I just want you to know how appreciative I am, and I'm going to continue to work as hard as I possibly can to bring you the best programming I can, including my opening statements, which apparently are big ratings grabbers. So let's move on. More from CBS. I don't mind quoting CBS now. A source inside Iran who was able to call out told CBS on Tuesday that activist groups working to compile a full death toll from the protests based on reports from medical officials across the country believe the toll was at least 12,000, possibly as high as 20,000. Folks, they're using howitzers against these people. They're using AKs against these people. They're using military weapons against unarmed people, mostly young people, and just slaughtering them. And they're charging the families, calling them in to find the bodies for the bullets, Mr. Badussi. Same source said security forces were visiting the many private hospitals across Tehran, threatening staff to hand over the names and address of those being treated for injuries sustained in the protests. CBS News has not been able to independently verify the massive death toll indicated by the source. The opposition Iran International Television Network said Tuesday its information suggested about 12,000 people were killed. Okay, look. This is in, you might say 2-3 weeks. No, the massive slaughter has occurred really in 48, 76 hours. So to kill that many people, you have to be killing a lot of people all at once. All at once. One unnamed Iranian official, according to CBS, said about 2,000 had been killed. Another one, by the way, and another news site said 3,000. But of course, there's a blackout there, so it's hard to get the information out. This will determine the extent to which the West is serious about defending itself, really. We see the Democrats, they're appeasers, they're pacifists, they're very dangerous people. Whether it's our own hemisphere in Venezuela, whether it's securing our border, backing our cops and ICE, building up our military, they're on the wrong side of every piece of that, which of course is a motivation for an enemy to attack us in small ways and large. Then when we are attacked, they have the same thing, gun control or who failed or whatever. They don't want to attack the source ever, and neither do, by the way, the neo-fascists. They're sympathetic to these regimes. That's why. For all their talk, they're sympathetic to these regimes. The president's meeting with his team right now. And if Donald Trump doesn't act and the United States doesn't act, the casualty numbers are going to go to 50,000, 60,000, whatever it takes. The regime will be emboldened. And then when it's all over, they'll be going door to door, dragging people out of their homes, hanging them. They've already started to hang people. One young man in the New York Post has been hanged. They show you the picture of the guy, young guy, handsome guy, very much Western. And they hang him. There's no lawyer. There's no due process. That's what these regimes are, folks. These regimes are the closest things to Nazism have in present time. The Islamist regimes and the Marxist regimes, whether it's China or Cuba or North Korea, neo-fascists or the fascists like Putin, and of course the Islamists. They slaughter away left and right, even their own people. It doesn't matter. That's just the truth. By the way, next hour, there's a piece by Selena Zito that I want to read to you. It's going to be tough for some people to hear, but you're going to have to hear it. More CBS News videos show rows of body bags in Iran as anti-regime protests in their third week. You can see them on the internet if you want to look, and you should. Videos appearing to show rows of body bags of those killed in Iran have emerged as anti-regime protests across the republic stretch in the third week. CBS partner network, the BBC, which of course is crazy ass, counted around 180 body bags and footage taken outside a morgue in Tehran alone. Other videos posted online showed protesters taking to the street, shouting death to the dictator, openly calling for the end. These are remarkable people. Brave beyond belief. Not the people attacking ICE. Not the people in our country who take to the streets, who know damn well they're not going to be murdered just for standing there. Even the situation involving Good and ICE in Minneapolis. That's not an intentional killing of any sort. She wasn't killed because she was there protesting. She was killed because she was viewed as a threat with her car against one of the individuals there. People can bait this all they want, but that's the truth. And that's different than peaceful protesting down the street demanding your freedom. That's different. Tucker Carlson, who I despise, most of you should. Most of you probably do. He compared the assassination of Charlie Kirk to the death of Good. If I remembered her first name, I'd give it, but of Good. Renee Good. Outrageous. Disgusting, as a matter of fact. Iran human rights groups, other groups are trying to keep tabs of what's going on, but the truth is the murder is so ubiquitous and so overwhelming they can't even keep track of how many people are being murdered. They can't even keep track of it. That tells you a lot, I would think. You've got guys like Mark Warner out there, really sick. I want you to listen to this. Cut 22, Mr. Producer. Hat tip Breitbart, go.
We're talking about the demise of the Iranian regime. What are we going to be able to say about our own nation's democracy?
You see, ladies and gentlemen, here's a Democrat. He sees what's going on in Iran, and he looks for a political opportunity to exploit. These are lowlives. These are disgusting, unconscionable, immoral, power-hungry bastards. That's what they are. To now drag our country in and make comparisons to what's going on in our streets. Have we killed 12,000 or 20,000 people? Is that what we've done? Are we executing people willy-nilly? Meanwhile, when people are killed by illegal aliens, what do the Democrats say? Nothing. Meanwhile, while our citizens are being slaughtered by other citizens, soft on crime, big cities, what do the Democrats say? Nothing. Zero. When Jews are being hunted down in the streets, that's right, I said it, and synagogues are being destroyed, most Democrats say nothing. When people are celebrating Hamas outside of a synagogue and they got a permit to be there, interrupting prayer services, where are the Democrats? Nowhere. I want you to listen to Ryan Young, a correspondent on CNN today, about what's going on in the streets, that these paid for, and in some cases not paid for, a radical left-wing Democrat, almost every one of them, militia types are literally interfering with law enforcement, that are trying to uphold federal immigration law against illegal aliens. Cut 24, go.
I can tell you they have been really strong in this fact that they're saying they're going to follow through this lawsuit. And the reason why we're walking back this direction is this is just where ICE and a lot of the Border Patrol officials were just here. All these neighbors that you see here were using their whistles and they were blowing and they were trying to stop an arrest. while we were here, we actually saw people running through the alleys trying to escape being captured. And this was a chaotic scene. It lasted for over 20 minutes. There were flashbangs used. There were pepper balls sprayed into the crowd. There were tear gas agents deployed. And we saw people physically trying to get in the way of some of these arrests that were being made. So as we walk in this direction, I want to show you because this kind of played out here. In fact, you can still see part of the canister that exploded right there in the middle of the intersection. These people were absolutely incensed by this. And we fell back for a quick second because obviously this was so chaotic at one point. We saw some of the agents accidentally spraying each other. So they had to fall back into several vehicles. Traffic was blocked.
Okay, this just shows you the extent of the violence of the Democrat Party militia. None of this would be necessary. When Dwight Eisenhower was rounding up illegal aliens, many more than Donald Trump is, he never confronted any of this, ever. Now, some of you are big Joe Rogan fans. I'm not. I think he's Bernie Sanders' guy. Okay, he endorsed Trump. That's a one-off. But this guy is to me really dense. That's just my opinion. Cut 23, go.
And they don't want those laws. They don't like those laws. They think that once people are here, they should be able to stay. And this is what my friend Gad Saad calls suicidal empathy.
Yep,
I
follow him.
And I think there's a balance to be achieved. I just don't know how it gets done. Because I see both perspectives. I see the perspective of the people that say, hey, there was an illegal program moving people in here to get votes, moving people in here to get congressional seats, and we've got to change that. We've got to take those people that got in and send them back to where they came from or do something, because if we don't, they're going to keep doing it if they get in office again in 2028, and it's going to accelerate. And you're going to have to take away some of the damage that's been done to a true democratic system because you've kind of hijacked it, and they kind of have. And then I can also see the point of view of the people that say, yeah, but you don't want militarized people in the streets just roaming around, snatching people up, many of which turn out to actually be U.S. citizens that just don't have their papers on them. Are we really going to be the...
Stop. How many? Very few. And let me educate you, Joe Rogan. Illegal aliens don't walk around with signs saying I'm an illegal alien. There's a lot of preparation that goes into these actions. Lists, they're trying to track people, trying to figure out who's who. They have to go where illegal aliens are. Where are illegal aliens? They're everywhere. Where American citizens are, illegal aliens are. By the way, he's talking there to Rand Paul. Go ahead.
Is that what we've come to? So it's more complicated than I think people want to admit. People want to look at this as a black and white issue. If you're a compassionate...
I'm sorry, it is a black and white issue. There are issues that are right and wrong, legal and illegal. And if you accept the premise of what he's saying, that ICE looks like, they're militarized and they're grabbing people off the street and they're grabbing citizens off the street and so forth and so on. Can you name 10 citizens that they've grabbed off the street? You'd have to look really hard. Maybe there are some. The media highlights them. Do they highlight the rapists, the murderers, the gang members? No, they don't. In fact, Noam's department has to put out that information because the press is reluctant to do so. This is what it looks like when you're trying to put down riots, when you're trying to put down violence, when you're trying to stop people in the streets from obstructing law enforcement, not doing something illegal, doing something compelled under federal law, the removal and the deportation of illegal aliens. So it's easy to take both sides of an issue and say, well, I can see one and I can see the other. But when you're actually managing a situation, when you're actually trying to address a situation like this, now, you can't let the lawlessness get out of hand, and that's what's happened. And I don't know what Rogan would have said when Ronald Reagan was governor in California, and they had to put down the takeover of schools and facilities and administration buildings by the students, or the 1960s with the riots in the streets and so forth and so on, or the 1970s with the riots against the Vietnam War, and I could go on and on and on. You've got to have law and order, a just law and order. And we have just laws in place that if people have violated with the backing of the Biden regime and the Democrat Party and the media. So 6 of one and half a dozen of the other doesn't cut it. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Hi, I'm Vince Callahan, host of The Vince Show and Vince Podcast. It's a show with an obsessive focus on what's good for America. I'll give you the truth beneath the headlines of all of the nation's top stories. The Vince Show is redefining news talk with in-depth interviews, live caller interactions, and a front row seat to the most important conversations of the day, every day. The Vince Show and Vince Podcast.
WMAL's Vince Callahan, weekdays at noon. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense.
My cousin's coming over, going to use my washer and dryer. I forgot coffee. I don't have any coffee grounds. And I ain't had any coffee grounds in a few days. I'm a coffee drinker. So I got to go to the store and get some coffee grounds. And when he gets here, he doesn't want to participate in this shit. He doesn't want you guys listening to him or anything. He's a miserable fuck. You wouldn't want to be around him. One of the card players. DA, you wouldn't last fucking 3 minutes in the same room with me, you fucking punk. You and Logical and your little fucking friend Petros, you know, your little evilicious fucking shit going on. You guys recruited JT. JT's right in with them. I know you are, JT. Yeah. And as far as you're concerned, Rusty, do something about me. Because you have penis envy. You're not happy being a woman. That's what feminists are. They're not happy being, fucking men are men and women are women. You try to control my fucking chat. You come up here and fucking call me a spammer. Come on up, Rusty. You're always fucking saying people are chicken to go on your panel. Open your panel, Rusty. I'll come up on that motherfucker right now. Can you go live? Huh? Hi, Matt. What time did you post? 6:49. I was on the phone with somebody. So if I go, well, I'll probably end the stream because he's going to be here doing his laundry. You don't want to do this. Hair's getting long. How about you, Rum? Where are you British motherfuckers at? Uh-huh. Oh, fucking, what's in the CT and them in there? Which one of you fuckers are Jabba the Hutt anyways? You fucking losers. Huh? It's all you fuckers from Dougie's chat and the ones that run that White House chat. The Todd Heisers and fucking Tom Darko and all that fucking crew from over Jujubot and Gramps. Fuck you. Uh-huh. And then all these fucking foreigners. Dougie's right into the foreigners. Why, he just go to Europe and live, Doug. Uh-huh. Just go over there and live. Lady Venom, you live up to your name. You are the most vile woman out here. You really are. Pig and Runt. That was me posting at you. What if you had a sister like Mary Burney? I'm watching what you guys do with that person. And, I really don't have much love for her. Because, basically, I don't tell people to shut up. So she come into JC's chat, and JC let her, it's just like with everybody else. How about it, JC? Would you come on up and let's talk about Mary Burney, since you like talking about Mary Burney. Let me put a word in on Mary Burney. Huh? Billy, you got to stop spamming and cloning. As JC sits there, and that's all she fucking does. Mary, you're not very smart. I don't want to be mean to you, but you're going to participate in this. You're a grown woman. You're out here. So, I'll look at you as being intelligent. All right. That fucking Wheaton Shaw, I watched his last broadcast. That fucking gut way to fuck out here. Hey, Wheaton Shaw, Gotti says that he donated $50 to you, because I can remember when you were talking about you couldn't pay your rent and all that shit, and people were fucking sending you money. Oh, what a fucking punk. What a fucking Wheaton Shaw. You every day, all day long, you sit there and you do that about Mary. So what if you had a sister like Mary? Wheaton Shaw, Pig and Runt, you fucking losers. Eisenhower. The lock in Messina is the Eisenhower lock. Dwight D. Eisenhower. Yeah. And you got Alpesh Patel fucking using the Will Durant name and got his picture, whatever. It's just, you guys are something else.
It's important that we have heightened attention. So much of this terrorism that we have faced is funded by, fueled by Iran. Hezbollah has been in our hemisphere, Iran. Hamas, partly Iran. Also Qatar.
Come on, Rusty.
It's funny you haven't heard Qatar, Ron, have you? No, you haven't heard.
Rusty, why should I treat you any different than I did Wiggin?
Including the neo-fascist right and the Marxist.
To respond to you any differently.
And of course, the Democrats give you the rope-a-dope, much like Joe Rogan.
Hey, you wanted to brag to your girls? You got Billy Hayden under you wrapped around your finger or something, or what? Why are you a feminist? Why you behave like this, Rusty? You fucking argue with everybody, and then you sit there and you point the finger at me that I do this shit. What is wrong with you people?
Your friendships, experiences, and purpose. It's all your choice. So what will you choose? As you make choices about the future,
Gotti was the only one came up on my panel this morning. Because that was like 4 o'clock, whatever time it was.
To learn more, visit today'smilitary.com.
Actor Michael Rosenbaum, he knows some of the most talented people in the business.
Let's get inside Kevin Smith's big house. Who knew? Playing Lex Luthor.
Mary, I don't have wrenches in my chat because I expect them to moderate my chat. All right, I don't do that. That's why you have trouble in your chat, Mary. And you really can't. Your fucking hands are tied.
Inside of You podcast. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
I missed the day Gotti come in your chat and did that with Monica, and Monica got mad because she was letting you use her channel.
If you have symptoms like wheezing or chronic cough, talk to your doctor and visit copdfoundation.org today.
This ad is brought to you by GSK. Have you considered starting Ojara, momelotinib for your appropriate...
I asked Mary Burney, because she was posing as a chef in Syracuse, New York. I asked her what the name of the Syracuse airport was, and she couldn't tell me. I had no fucking idea. Yeah, I asked her about writing a menu for the people she's cooking for, and you got soup, and you got salad, and you got main course, and you got dinner or dessert, and you got beverages that go along with it. Mary, you ever write a menu? I guarantee you some high-end restaurant, you open the menu and New England clam chowder is on there.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington.
A very popular soup because it's milk-based soup with potatoes. Tasty. You can put other things in there besides fucking clams.
Damning testimony today in the trial of a
Any
Florida
kind of
man
fish.
charged with killing his wife and another man in 2023 as part of a plot to be with the family's au pair.
This Owls guy. Yo, Owls, I'm starting to think that you're Bud Noble. Seriously. You're fucked up in the head, Owls.
Magley says she and
You're one fucked up individual. There's a lot of them out here, but you're on the top of the list. Let me read what you said. Oh, he's got using the word not, so that's fucking the British fucks.
The prosecution will resume its questioning tomorrow.
I like how you guys fucking try to convince us we should hate our own country and ourselves, and you're so worried about Trump. Trump owns you.
A day of school turns deadly for Stonebridge High School student.
You can't do anything about Trump. You try to put another bullet in the head if you want.
An LCPS maintenance vehicle struck and killed her. The school's principal, Timothy Flynn, sent a message to parents. It's with deep sadness that they share the news.
There's people in this world committing crimes against the United States, and that's just exactly what they deserve, a fucking bullet right between the eyes. Just like what Obama did to Osama. You remember he bragged? Obama said, I got Osama. You got him. Took his head off with a 50 caliber. Oh, some say it's a small. I think that was a 50 caliber gun they used. Yeah, the fucking big old bullet goes in that motherfucker.
Idaho's law is intended to protect sex-based biological advantages in sports. Then attorney Kathleen Hartnett says there's no justification.
Like a 50 caliber muzzle loader. You get just one shot.
On this record, Lindsay Peacock has mitigated that advantage because she's suppressed.
A United friend. You got good luck. Look at this dumb fuck in the chat. Matt, look at these dumb fucks.
If we adopted that would have to apply across the board and not simply to the area of athletics.
Opinions are expected. The opinion, rather, is.
I don't know, but you can ban them if you want.
What could be a Silver Spring parking garage crime spree?
You can ban them if you want or time them out. I don't give a fuck. No, that's the idiots from the UK. That's Rum, Alpesh Patel, that Jamie guy, and he's Irish. Okay, all right. They got and Paul Beach Life. They all got their little fucking clan over there. Yeah. They're also known as European fucking Facebookers. They're troll farm. That's what they do. That's all they do. I mean, look at Alpesh Patel. He can't talk about himself. And if he does, he's lying. He ain't got no, a fucking picture of a Doberman. When did you have that Doberman? Not since you've been in these chats for fucking 8 years. Or however long it's been now. Like 9.
We believe you should never stop chasing it. That's why we offer a skills-based education that helps move.
Paul Beach Life fucking begged me to cut. He was going to let me have a channel.
Apply by February 11th and save with no application fee. Learn more at umgc.edu.
Yeah, Vader's another one. Vader's right in with Rusty, and Vader, you're about useless. You really are. You just, your gig is old. If I can find something new, will you? Jesus Christ. Just fucking, wow. Well, I was on Acid's panel this morning because when Gotti was on my panel and he left and I shut down and he went to Acid's and I went right up. So I was on Acid's panel this morning with Gotti. He was there first. Gotti did do us a little favor this morning. I don't know if this fucking Alpesh is going to fucking listen.
Duke Street, there's a disabled at White Lane, and northbound side is heavy from 110 to the 14th Street Bridge. 270 still jams up northbound between 28 and Middlebrook Road.
I fear any kind of infectious disease, you dumb fucker, kiddo. You're tainted. I wouldn't want to shake your hand or anything. You're dirty. Kiddos, you're dirty. Of course I'd be afraid of you.
Right now, 49 degrees in Washington. I'm Heather Curtis on News Talk 105.9.
God, George, hurry up and show up so I can fucking leave.
105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Mark Levin.
Now broadcasting from the underground command post. From the bowels of a hidden bunker, somewhere under the brick and steel of a nondescript building, we've once again made...
For those of you who don't like Mark Levin, I'm going to turn him up.
Hello, America. Mark Levin.
It's what he says that matters.
381-3811, 877-381-3811. You know, I'm a big fan of Selena Zito, as many of you are. She's fantastic. She's a real journalist.
That's probably Wiggin.
And
he's got all the fat girls' pictures. You know how he is.
Around Pittsburgh. Sorry, Pittsburgh. It's time to get rid of that quarterback. I think he's retiring. Sad to see your coach go. He's a good guy, too. All that said, her piece in the Washington Examiner is who radicalized the Mississippi synagogue arsonist. Hasn't gotten the kind of attention it would get if it was some other group whose church was burned down. And it ought to get a lot of attention when churches or synagogues are burned down. Hate found its way to Mississippi's largest Jewish house of worship, she writes, Congregation Beth Israel, where an arsonist intentionally set fire to the synagogue at about 3 a.m. Saturday, damaging the only synagogue in the city. The alleged suspect's name, Stephen Spencer Pittman, was released late Monday. According to the FBI, he faces charges of maliciously damaging or destroying a building by fire or an explosive. Russ Latino, a native Mississippian and founder of the Jackson-based Magnolia Tribune Institute, said an affidavit filed on U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Mississippi alleges that Pittman admitted to law enforcement that he set the fire at Beth Israel because of its Jewish ties. Latino added that Pittman referred to the synagogue as the synagogue of Satan, and detailed the steps he took leading up to the arson. Now, here's the key. Latino noted that synagogue of Satan is an anti-Semitic phrase that both Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens have used in recent years. Quote, nothing in his personal profile points out anything political. There's no Trump or Biden or Harris. There are just a lot of Bible verses. But synagogue of Satan, well, that is a pretty specific alliteration, the same phraseology used by Fuentes and Owens. And the piece is beautiful, important, and I link to it online and you can read it in its entirety. Now, what about this? Now, look, I don't know if there's a direct line or not. I don't know if there's a direct line or not. It really doesn't need to be. But the language that's coming out of the mouth of Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens and Steve Bannon, Nick Fuentes, David Smith, who else? Megyn Kelly now, and others. It is the kind of language that incites certain people to do violent things. And I'm telling you right now, when you keep smearing an entire faith, an entire people, the only Jewish nation on the face of the earth, and you do it day in and day out, and you are relentless about it, for many reasons, whether you're on Qatar's payroll, whether you're a mental case, whether you're just a Jew hater, whatever it is, it has consequences. We've seen this before.
Almonds and toffee.
It has consequences. If you're going to talk like you're a PR agent for the Third Reich, or you're going to nod your head and then pretend you're not. In other words, if you're a mini Goebbels, it has consequences. Words have consequences, and they are intended to have consequences. So when Fuentes and Owens keep talking about a synagogue of Satan, and this guy uses that phrase, and he has no political background at all that you can tell, it's poison. Burning down a synagogue in Mississippi. Attacking a synagogue in the center of New York. Celebrating Hamas. Many synagogues have now been attacked in this country, most notably the one in Pittsburgh, where parishioners were murdered, one at a time. And we now have situations where Orthodox rabbis, the garb that they wear and the beards and so forth, are particular targets. And are others who dress this way. Particular targets. Well, there was a time in our country when we would all rise up and denounce this. It's not happening. Maybe we'll get a press release or a comment here and there. On the woke right, the neo-fascists, we literally have high-ranking politicians who don't say a thing. Or if they say anything, they pretend in some kind of word salad it's not happening. They view these people as part of their base. And there's too many of them who think this way. It's not going to serve their purposes politically. I can tell you that right now. But Selena's right about this. His social media presence on X shows a young man posting about his Christian faith in baseball, where he was a standout player in both high school and college. Latino said the entire Jackson community has rallied around the Beth Israel congregants, many different faith organizations. This is why I love faith organizations. And the governor, same thing. Public safety commissioner, same thing. She writes, the arson follows years of violent attacks against the nation's Jewish community dating back to October 2018, when Robert Bowers murdered 11 worshipers at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh's Squire Hill neighborhood, the worst massacre of American Jews in our history. Julie Parrish, who lives in Squire Hill, maybe it's Square Hill, and is in the Mid-Atlantic region director of Stand With Us, said she is horrified by the deliberate arson of the synagogue in Jackson to target Mississippi's largest and oldest house of worship, desecrating the sacred Torah scrolls and destroying a library and administration offices. It's unmitigated evil. And she mentions the documented scores of graffiti attacks in Pittsburgh's largest Jewish neighborhood. Remember, this is the area she represents. Said, while this fire was an attempt to intimidate and harm, it will not succeed. And Selena, who, by the way, is Italian Catholic, wonderful, wonderful, righteous Gentile, she said, violence targeting Jews and Jewish institutions surged after October 7, 2023. Now, why is that, America? It's because the Muslim Brotherhood, Hamas, Qatar have poured money into this country, Iran, and Communist China. They've bought people, they've bought podcasters, they've bought politicians, they've bought media outlets, they bought quote-unquote influencers. This attack was led by Hamas terrorists. Since then, a Jordanian national broke into a solar power generation facility in Wedgefield, Florida, because he believed the company supported Israel, causing $500,000 in damage. Last May, 2 Israeli embassy staffers, these young kids, were killed by a lone gunman in Washington. A month later, Boulder, Colorado, Mohammed Sabri Solomon allegedly threw Molotov cocktails at a march supporting Israeli hostages. Prosecutors say he attacked the group with incendiary devices. killing one, injuring others? Yes. He tried to burn them to death. 8,873 anti-Semitic incidents in the United States in 2023, 140% increase. Total combined, 2024, 9,354. And let's be blunt, part of this is due to the fact that we've imported a huge number of people from the Middle East, from Islamist countries, Islamist-ruled countries, I should say. Let's be honest. They're not even saying, support Palestinians. They're saying support Hamas, which many Palestinians don't even support. Last April, on his first night of Passover, Cody Bomber scaled an iron security fence at the governor's mansion in Pennsylvania. In the middle of the night, he filled used beer bottles with gasoline, and he attempted to kill the governor, burned down half the mansion there. Told police he intended to beat Shapiro with a small sledgehammer if he encountered him. He also said he needed to know that Bomber will not take part in his plans for what he wants to do with the Palestinian people, whatever that means. That Israel's library and surrounding rooms suffered severe damage and so forth. Latinos said the sanctuary was also damaged. 5 Torahs housed there. Hitman 19, who goes by his middle name, lives in Madison, just outside of Jackson, Mississippi. According to an affidavit filed in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Mississippi, he faces federal charges for using, obviously, trying to burn it down. Three days ago, around the time of the attack, a post on what investigators believe is Pittman's Instagram account suggested his interest extended beyond baseball. Featured an image of Princess Clara, animated character from Drawn Together, known for religious fanaticism and bigotry, pushing Mumbo Alago, a secondary character depicted wearing a Star of David and carrying bags of money into a pool while shouting, "A Jew in my backyard. I can't believe my Jew crown didn't work. You're getting baptized right now." The question is, who radicalized this man? With seemingly no ideological bent, from posts about baseball and faith to attempting to burn down a house of worship and using phraseology like synagogue of Satan. What do you think about this, Fuentes and Owens? What do you think about this, Carlson and Bannon, and all the rest of you disgusting reprobates, you vulgarians? I fear there's a lot more to come. A whole lot more to come. I fear that that's coming. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Air traffic controllers guide tens of thousands of flights every day, getting passengers and cargo to their destination safely. Aviation professionals always answer the call, but they can't do it alone. We must invest in equipment.
He's on his way, so I got to end this stream.
As a business owner, every dollar counts. One way to save without cutting corners, your energy costs. That's where Texas
Kiddos, where'd you go?
The team at Texas Energy Partner knows the market, so you lock in the best short and long-term electricity providers for your business. And TexasEnergyPartner.com makes it so easy. Just log on, compare, and select.
Oh, why my cousin? He's got money. Why he just doesn't buy a washer and a dryer?
TexasEnergyPartner.com. That's Texas Energy Partner, your business partner for energy savings.
Matt, do you know who that handle was that you hid, that I unhid? I've seen that. It ain't been back.
Banking with Northern Credit Union. They offer loans, right? Well, of course.
So I'll see everybody on the flip side. When I was talking, I had like 15 people here listening. So there you go.
You should really stop it and see them.
Hey, Rum is back.
Yeah, but look, you can
Isn't it you and your fucking other friend there, that fucking Vanguard or whatever? Yes, ODV about the White House, why it's called the White House. When he said it was painted white, you laughed at him.
Apply for your next loan with Northern Credit Union online or in mobile banking.
JC, remember how proud you were when you were the first guest up on my panel? You said you wanted to do that. I let you right up.
First car, home loan, personal loan, we've got you covered. Visit mynorthern.com to learn more. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal opportunity.